Good morning, everyone. Class 9 student, we are going to start chapter number 6. The name of the chapter is tissue, which is from biology. So, firstly, we should understand the term tissue. Tissue होता क्या है? Tissue is a group of cells that are specialized for performing particular function inside our body. That is called tissue. Next, here is the definition of tissue. Tissue is a group of cell similar in structure and performing the same function. Plants, animal की body किसकी बनी है? Tissue की बनी है. In plants and animal, group of cell called tissue carry out the specific function. The tissues present in plant and the animal body performing particular function in their body. For example, if I am talking about in human being में muscular tissue present है. These muscular tissue contract and relax and help in the movement of our body. तो muscular tissue का क्या काम है? It help in providing the movement to our body. Similarly, अगर मैं plants की बात करूँ तो plants में कुछ vascular tissue present है. For example, of vascular tissue are xylem and phloem. This xylem tissue help in the movement of water from one part of the plant to the other. And similarly, the phloem tissue, जो plants में phloem tissue present है, that help in the transport of food from one part to another part of the plant. So, plants में, animals में tissue are performing the particular function in their body. So, next is the topic, the differences between the plant and the animal tissue. What is the main difference? Plant tissue और animal tissue में difference क्या है? You know well, plants are stationary. They cannot move. They are fixed to their position. So most of the tissue in the plants are dead. As the dead tissue provide the better structural strength, that's why the most of the tissue in the plants are dead. और अगर मैं animals की बात करूँ, animals में कौन से tissue present है? ज़्यादातर living tissue present है. Animals are not stationary. Stationary animals नहीं हैं. They move from one place to another in search of food, mate or shelter or whatever. They are moving beings. So they are moving. So their energy demands are higher than that of plants. अगर energy की बात करें तो animals को ज़्यादा amount में energy चाहिए than that of plant. So in animal tissue, the most of the tissue are living. So plant tissue की अगर हम बात करें, plant do not move from one place to another. Most of the cells and the tissue in plants provide the mechanical support and strength. So most of the tissue consists of dead cells. So plant में जो ज़्यादातर tissue present है वो dead cells के बने हैं because dead cell provide the mechanical support and strength to the plant. The growth of the plant take place only in some region. So plant have tissue called meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue क्या होता है? Here is the term meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue are the tissue in the plant that have the capacity to divide throughout their life. They always show the division of labor inside themselves. उन अपने में वो क्या करते हैं? They always divide throughout the lifetime. So meristematic tissue are the tissue that have the capacity to divide throughout their lifetime and help in the growth, and permanent tissue do not divide. दो टाइप के टिश्यू हैं प्लांट्स में, मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू जो थ्रू आउट द लाइफ डिवाइड करेंगे. परमानेंट टिश्यू क्या होते हैं? दे लूजेस द कैपेसिटी ऑफ डिवीजन एंड बिकम्स परमानेंट इन देयर फंक्शन. दैट्स वाई दे आर नोन एज परमानेंट टिश्यू. नेक्स्ट इज द एनिमल टिश्यू. Next is the animal tissue. You know, animals move from one place to another and need more energy. Therefore, the energy demand in case of animals are higher than that of plant. So, most cells and tissue in animals are living. The growth of animal is more uniform. So, animal do not have separate dividing or non-dividing cells. इसमें कुछ dividing या non-dividing cells animal tissue में they are not different. Animals have organ having specialized functions. हमारी बॉडी में बहुत से organ present हैं. Brain, heart, kidney, all these are the organ inside our body, and each and every organ is doing particular function. हर एक organ का अपना अलग function है. They are performing some function inside our body. Heart का function क्या है? Heart help in the transport of blood. It helps in pumping the blood. Brain का function क्या है? Brain. It help in giving the message to all part of the body. So animal have organ having specialized function. तो animal की body में बहुत सारे organ हैं और हर एक organ का अपना अलग फंक्शन है. किडनी हेल्प इन एक्सक्रीशन. सो द ऑर्गन्स हैव द स्पेशलाइज्ड टिश्यू. और ऑर्गन्स किसके बने होते हैं? टिश्यू के. सी द बेसिक यूनिट ऑफ लाइफ इज सेल and the group of cell is known as tissue, and various tissue together makes the organ, and various organ makes the organ system. Now if I am talking about only plant tissue, I am discussing with you plant tissue in detail. Plant tissue are of two type: meristematic tissue, permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue, I told you, the tissue which have the dividing capacity throughout their life, they always divide. Meristematic tissue is divided into three types. Further they are divided into three types, that is apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristematic tissue. They are divided into three types. Next, permanent tissue. Permanent tissue are of two types: simple tissue and complex tissue. The simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue are further divided into parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, and complex tissue are further divided into xylem and phloem. These classes, this classification, this flow chart I am telling you in detail. Now I am explaining you the flow chart of plant tissue. Plant tissue divided into two types: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue are the tissue that have the capacity to divide throughout their life. मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू की तीन टाइप हम स्टडी करेंगे: एपिकल मेरिस्टेमेटिक, इंटरकैलरी मेरिस्टेमेटिक एंड लेटरल मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू. These are the three type of meristematic tissue we are going to discuss. And permanent tissue की हम दो टाइप डिस्कस करेंगे यहाँ: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. These two type we are going to discuss of permanent tissue. Now if I am talking about the meristematic tissue, meristematic tissue are found in the growing region of plants like the tip of root, stem and branches. Meristematic tissue mostly कहाँ मिलता है? They are present at the tip area of root, stem and branches. They divide continuously and help in the growth of plant. प्लांट की ग्रोथ में हेल्प करेगा मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू. और कहाँ प्रेजेंट है? दे आर प्रेजेंट एट द टिप ऑफ रूट, स्टेम और लीव्स. रूट, स्टेम एंड ब्रांचेस और लीव्स. Firstly, if I am talking about the apical meristematic tissue, apical meristematic tissue is present at the tip of stem and roots, and they are helping in the growth of stem and root. Stem और root की growth में help करते हैं apical meristematic tissue. Now, second point, if I am talking about the lateral meristematic tissue, they are present in the sides of stem and root. ये tip पे present नहीं है, sides पे present होता है, stem की और roots पे. और किस में हेल्प कर रहा है? दे हेल्प इन प्रोवाइडिंग द गिर्थ टू द स्टेम एंड रूट्स. स्टेम और रूट्स को गिर्थ इंक्रीजेज द गिर्थ ऑफ द स्टेम एंड रूट्स. नेक्स्ट, इफ आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द लास्ट पार्ट ऑफ द मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू, दैट इज थर्ड वन, इंटरकैलरी मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू. दे आर प्रेजेंट एट द बेस ऑफ द लीव्स एंड इंटरनोड्स. दे आर present only at the specific site, that is internodes, and help in the growth of those part which arise from the internode area. Next is the permanent tissue. Next is the permanent tissue. I told you permanent tissue, meristematic tissue ही permanent tissue में change हो जाते हैं. जैसे ही meristematic tissue loses the capacity of division, they convert into permanent tissue. Permanent tissue are formed from the meristematic tissue only. They do not divide and have permanent shape and size. They differentiate into different type of permanent tissue. Permanent tissue की दो टाइप हम डिस्कस करेंगे: simple permanent tissue और complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue की थ्री टाइप्स हैं: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Here are the three types of simple permanent tissue: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. और कॉम्प्लेक्स परमानेंट टिश्यू की दो टाइप हैं: जाइलम एंड फ्लोएम. वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस दिस टॉपिक in detail in next video. Thank you.